We have been on over 40 cruises. We've done 5 ocean crossings, and there are 5 trips on our list that are different from everything else, and they are different for exactly one reason.
They have a physical deadline.
Not an age, a capability. There is a moment on each of these 5 trips where you will either have enough left in the tank to reach the thing that makes the trip extraordinary, or you won't. And we want to be very direct with you about where that line is, because most videos tout the destination but don't highlight what physical effort it really takes to see it all.
So today, 5 trips, what each one demands of your body, the moments you'll miss if you're physically unable to do what's required.
This video is meant to encourage you to get out there and have those amazing experiences on the more demanding trips now versus later. Details, not drama. Let's go. So here's the frame for this video. Most trip content shows you the highlight reel, the Instagram version, the we had an amazing time version.
Yeah, there were quite a few days on this trip where we came back to the ship tired. Not a bad tired, a good kind of tired. That means you didn't leave anything on the table.
And here's the honest answer on what that means for you. We are not saying you have to be an athlete. We are not saying you have to be 50. What we're saying is that there are specific moments on each of these trips that have a physical price of admission, and the price goes up the longer you wait.
Yeah, we've got Alaska booked for August, Asia in December, Africa, Antarctica, Iceland, and Greenland are all on the list, and we feel like the clock is ticking, so we want to get these done.
You may feel it too. Stay with us. Let's dive into Trip 1, Japan. Trip 1, Japan. And not just a stop in Tokyo, a full circumnavigation. We sailed Holland, America, Westerdam, visited 12 ports in 18 days, and here's what the brochure does not tell you.
Yeah, Japan is a walking destination, full stop. Almost every shrine, temple, historical site involves stairs. On several port days where we're hitting 15 to 20,000 steps, and we didn't see a whole lot of benches.
And here's the thing, the stairs aren't incidental. They are the experience. The approach to a shrine, the path through a garden, the climb to a hilltop castle. The effort is in the design. The Japanese built their sacred spaces this way on purpose, as well as some of the highest points in a building with a view is that way for defensive purposes. It's intentional. So you earn the view.
Yeah, and as you would expect, those massive daily step counts, we were exhausted. But we're happy we got to see so many amazing things.
So choose Japan if you love cultural immersion, history, and walking towards things that matter. The physical ask is real, and it's entirely the point. But if you wait until the stairs are a problem, you just won't get the full picture of Japan. Not even close.
Yeah. Up next, we'll explore the Galápagos.
Trip 2, and this is actually 2 trips in one. The Galápagos Islands, followed by the Machu Picchu extension, both handled entirely by Celebrity Cruises.
Yeah, once we arrived in Baltra, we boarded Zodiacs to get onto the ship.
Now here's what you need to know. A Zodiac is a rigid inflatable boat. Getting in and out from a rocking vessel onto a wet platform, stepping across, that requires balance, grip strength, core stability. In calm water, it's manageable. In chop, and there was chop, it requires some physical attention.
Yeah, sometimes we had wet landings, others were dry, but we did this at least twice every day for a week. Yeah. The crew handled the safety aspect really well, but when that Zodiac's bobbing up and down, it can be a little bit intimidating.
Yeah. So once you're aboard the Celebrity Flora, you get to choose your excursions at both stops each day, and you can choose things like snorkeling, kayaking, hiking, Zodiac tours, etc. But here's the honest answer. The wildlife you came to see does not come to you. You go to it. You can stay on the Zodiac, but you're going to miss out on a lot.
Yeah, the sea lions, the marine iguanas, the blue-footed boobies, they all live in volcanic terrain. So you're hiking on lava fields and you're snorkeling in current. Every encounter is earned. And I will tell you, we spent about 6 months before the trip preparing. We live in Phoenix, and so we would start doing hikes, each one a little bit longer and a little bit more altitude until we felt like we were physically prepared for this activity.
Yeah. We also snorkeled in our community pool to practice too. People thought we were crazy. But by the end of the week exploring the islands, you will be tired in a way that is deeply satisfying. And then you fly to the extension.
Yeah, elevation is real. Cusco sits about 11,000 feet, so we drank a lot more water than we normally do.
Yeah.
And we also spoke to our physician about altitude medication, and that really paid off for us. There was a few other people on the trip that weren't quite so well prepared, and they regretted it as elevation sickness is not pleasant.
Yeah. Ollantaytambo, the Hiram Bingham train, and then Machu Picchu. The climb is steep, it is long, it is at altitude. We saw people turn around halfway, and there is no shame in that at all. But it is a real consideration that you should make with accurate information. Spend some time in advance working on your stair climbing, even if it's slowly, so you can get ready to make that trip. So choose this trip if you're ready to work, really work. If you want every wildlife encounter to feel earned, if you want to stand on a lava field surrounded by animals that have never learned to fear humans because nothing has ever threatened them there, this is the trip. Next up, let's go to French Polynesia. Trip 3. This one looks like paradise, and it absolutely is, but it carries a physical requirement that surprised us.
We joined the Oceania Regatta in Honolulu. And our first excursion was Volcanoes National Park.
Yeah.
And then we did the swim with the whale snorkel. And I have to be honest with you, it was a tough one.
So Doug ended up with aspiration pneumonia after that whale snorkel. And we're telling you this not to frighten you, but because the physical ask of this excursion is something you need to understand before you book it.
You have to swim the length of a football field to where the whales are surfacing. And once you get there, you need to tread water for about 20 minutes until they surface again. And then you need to swim back to the boat. So it was a bit of a difficult swim for me.
Yeah. But here's the thing. When a whale surfaces 15 feet from you, there are just no words. It's one of the most extraordinary things either of us have ever experienced. So we're not telling you not to do it. We are telling you exactly what it asks so you can make that decision with clear information. Tour guides do their very best to help you be safe, of course, but a lot of the effort needs to come from you.
Yeah, I feel like to truly experience French Polynesia, you need to get into water. But I think you'll be grateful you did when you're swimming with the black-tipped sharks and the rays.
Yeah. So choose this trip if you are comfortable and confident in open water, if you can swim. If you want the marine world of French Polynesia at its fullest, do it while you can get in the water to meet it. Next up, South America. Trip 4 is one that quietly accumulated into one of the most physically demanding stretch we've ever done. Not because any single day was impossible, because of what they added up to.
Yeah, we sailed the Azamara quest from Barbados down to Buenos Aires. Beautiful coastline and quite a few tender ports. And then we stayed in Buenos Aires where the accumulation began.
So Buenos Aires is really a walking city. We did back-to-back tours of the northern and southern quarters over 2 days. Neighborhoods, markets, art history, mostly on foot as we were dropped off in a specific area, but the best sites you had to walk to.
Then Iguazu Falls. It is steps, stairs, and a couple-mile path to reach Devil's Throat, for example. We walked more than 4 hours straight. Iguazu is one of those places that changes your sense of scale permanently. Iguazu Falls is the most spectacular falls that we've ever seen.
Yep. And then it kept going. We flew to Mendoza, which was our most relaxing time because wineries.
Yes.
We love the wineries. Then next we flew to Santiago. We did a 5-hour historical walking tour on day 1. Then we went out to Valparaiso, which is a deeply hilly city, lots of art, stairs everywhere, absolutely extraordinary. We went to Vina del Mar, then a winery stop and tour on the way back. And then the next morning, we flew to Lima.
Yeah, and to be honest, by the time we reached Lima, we were tired. The flights, the elevation changes, the walking, the sheer pace of the itinerary.
My ears were hurting from the number of flights that we took. It's not a complaint, it's just information. South America requires a body that can absorb the travel, sustain the walking, manage the elevation over an extended stretch. We spent almost 2 weeks exploring inland and still didn't get to see everything, but it was what we could handle at the moment. So choose South America if you want depth, if you want waterfalls and wine country and colonial history and amazing food. Choose it while your body can give you everything this continent asks for in return. Next up, the land down under. And trip 5, Australia and New Zealand. We were on board the Celebrity Edge for almost a month. We sailed in and out of Sydney 3 times, and this is the one that spent 20 years on my bucket list.
Yeah, the first leg was the Great Barrier Reef. We did 2 full-day snorkeling trips. One on a large boat with rougher open waters, and conditions were quite challenging. The other was a smaller boat, smaller group, calmer waters, but a longer day, and it was pouring the whole time.
But we didn't care because you're wet already, right?
Yeah, the Great Barrier Reef cannot be seen from the deck of a ship. You have to get into the water. And here's the honest truth. The window on this particular experience is closing, not just because of your own physical timeline, but because the reef is changing. The guides were direct with us about this.
Yeah, the naturalists on board educated us on all the things that they are trying to do to repair the damage that is happening in the reef. So the second leg of this trip was Tasmania. We had walking tours, we had sea days, we did have some quiet discovery on this one. It's one of the more underrated places that we've been, but we were exploring Hobart on our own on a walking tour that we had put together. We met a kind gentleman walking his dog. He decided he was going to show us around, so that was quite fun.
Yeah, the third leg of the trip was New Zealand,
Yeah.
and this is where something unexpected happened.
We absolutely fell in love with New Zealand, completely and without warning, because I was so excited to see Australia. Wasn't expecting it. The walking tours in New Zealand are some of the most varied, scenic, quietly extraordinary we have done anywhere on this earth. We went to a sheep farm. You meet the people that actually run the farm and the dogs, who work very hard. The wineries with gorgeous views, the fjords. The Kiwis are extraordinarily proud of their country, and they have earned that pride.
We visited bird sanctuaries, and if you want to see the truly rare birds, well, that's a hike.
Yeah.
We walked Oceanfront Promenade in Napier, and it was absolutely stunning. We took a speedboat to Lanark Castle. We saw so many amazing places because we pushed ourselves. We walked the extra mile, and we climbed the extra stairs.
So choose this trip if you want wonder. Unhurried wonder. If you want to hike, sit at a winery, watch the sun go down over a sheep farm, and feel completely at peace with how you spent this particular section of your life. So here is where we land on all of this. 5 trips, 5 places that ask something real of your body.
None of these trips required you to be an elite athlete. Every single one of them can be adjusted, so you can choose the shorter excursion, the calmer waters, the chairlift instead of the stairs. We're not saying you must do the hardest version of anything.
What we are saying is that the fullest version, the whale snorkel, the Zodiac landing on Galápagos, the climb at Machu Picchu, Devil's Throat at Iguazu, the open water reef, these versions have a window. That window is personal. It is different for every person watching this video right now, but it is real and it closes.
So once again, we have Alaska on the calendar for August, Asia in December, Africa, Antarctica, and Greenland are all on the list, and we're moving with a certain sense of purpose these days.
Because here's the thing, we're not trying to make you anxious. The world is out there. These places are extraordinary, and you are more capable right now today than you may be giving yourself credit for.
Yeah, so drop us a comment and tell us what are the 5 that are on your list. What's stopping you from getting there? We'll read every comment.
As always, we love to hear your experiences. If you're willing to take the time to share, it's helpful to the entire community. We have so many more places to explore. Help us prioritize. Send us your advice. And if you found this useful, subscribe. We're all about the details, not the drama. Safe travels.
We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for watching.